the man who injects himself with snake venom. For the past 3 decades, Steve Ludwin has been dicing with death in one of the most bizarre ways imaginable. He has been injecting snake venom into his body. Despite numerous warnings from medical experts, the 53-year-old eccentric rock singer is unwilling to stop doing it anytime soon. He believes that his life-threatening hobby not only has improved his health and helped him feel younger, but it also has the potential to save lives. To prove his point, he has teamed up with a group of Danish scientists and turned himself into a living experiment. Ludwin recalls that he has always been obsessed with snakes, but it wasn't until he was in his teens that he began experimenting with their venom. He describes the decision to inject it into his body as instinctual. It was a light bulb moment, he says. His ultimate goal was to determine if it was possible to become immune to snake venom. As he candidly admits, the first few attempts were simply a dangerous guessing game. He had no idea what he was doing and what effect the poison would have on his body. I was playing a game with death. The pain that happened immediately when the venom hit my bloodstream was incredible, scary, and humbling. I'm surprised I went back for more. He started with just 1 injection every few months and slowly moved up to weekly doses. As time went on, Steve's experiments were becoming increasingly audacious. Not only was he injecting himself with more and more venom, but he also began mixing the venom of different snakes. After a few years of performing home science on himself, he started noticing surprising changes in the way that his body responded to the potentially deadly concoctions. He claims that it was recovering much faster than before. The bruising and swelling were going away very quickly. Perhaps that was why he eventually got too confident about what he was doing and overdosed on the toxic substances. He knew he was facing death at that moment, but he didn't care. I'd had such a great life. When they say your life flashes by, I saw all the good bits and felt them, all the rock and roll moments, every great gig I went to or played, he told the Observer. He even added that the venom helped him relax and accept death. Initially, he was reluctant to go to the hospital, but he agreed to do so the following morning. The doctors were shocked. They had never treated someone who had been bitten by a snake, let alone someone who had injected himself with the venom of 3 different snakes. They were certain that Steve was either going to die or, at best, lose his arm. But he didn't. After spending 3 days in the hospital, he decided to go home. Contrary to the doctor's predictions, his hand was back to normal a week later. Convinced by his miraculous recovery, Ludwin began experimenting with venom more than ever before. He even created his own anti-aging cream with venom in it. Unsurprisingly, Steve Ludwin's daring experiments and his outlandish lifestyle have drawn the attention of the media in many countries. In 2013, after the release of a short documentary about him, Steve was contacted by a group of Danish scientists from the University of Copenhagen. Since then, they have been using his blood to create the first-ever anti-venom substance developed from human blood. Ludwin is excited about the process and hopes that the final product will save people's lives. If those scientists win the Nobel Prize for Medicine, and I get recognition, that would be sweet, he says.